I'm a family doctor here in Calgary. I work in Sheldon Schumer in the Department of Family Medicine Teaching Clinic, and I also teach medical students at U of C. I love my job because I love my patients, and I hope they love me back. It's hugely rewarding too. Like, oh man, you get so many great things back as a doctor. Obviously it changes their life, but it changes you as a person too. We communicate through touch, and there's a huge emphasis in healthcare on communication as a skill. But why is it that we prioritize verbal communication over non-verbal communication? What you do with your child, what you do when someone is dying, you touch them, you hold their hand, you comfort them. I think in the normal context of day-to-day life, touch is an important thing.
And everybody packed down gym and gone.
In some ways, maybe healthcare sort of lost its way a little bit when it comes to some of these ideas of how to be there for patients and how to touch them, you know, not just physically, but, you know, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, you know, like those different aspects of connecting with people in a meaningful way so that they can be healed or be well. Hi, Martina.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good. How are you doing?
Good, I'm good. Come on
Right,
in.
let's make a story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you have some photos, I see?
Yes, I brought
Awesome.
some cringy photos. I don't know how
Great.
good they are.
I really like this one.
Oh yeah.
I think that one
That's
is.
in the Wicklow Mountains. That's my brother. Wasn't
Yeah.
he adorable?
Yeah, it was pretty cute. So today, Martina, we're going to be scanning all your photos in, and then we're going to record your voice reading the story, and we're going to put it all into Final Cut Pro. By the end of today, we'll probably end up with a little 3-minute movie.
Harold's Cross Hospice was just down the road from where I grew up in Dublin, Ireland. Each Wednesday evening, as a group of neighbour children, we were collected and dropped off to visit dying people. I vividly remember many of the people I got to know, despite being so young. Maura with her colourful bedside table and bright lipstick, Sister Annunciata in a rotating bed, and Katerina. Katerina couldn't tell me where she was from because her town in Italy had been taken over so many times during the First and Second World War. I saw her as an incredible heroine who had lived through so much. I never saw her as an old woman until I held her hand as she died. In that moment, I remember looking at her wrinkles as if they belonged to somebody else. I guess because I'm researching touch, I hadn't really thought about the story as part of my story.
Mm. So, what do you think about showing it to a group of colleagues? How are you feeling about that?
Nervous.
So this is a real sort of step for you.
I feel vulnerable.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm anticipating some criticism, actually.
Nice to meet you, Ray.
That's
I've
what
heard
you
a bit
say now,
about you.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I say now. Yeah, we'll see. Hey. Cool. Well, thanks for coming.
Yeah.
It's really cool to have a patient of Martina's to come and watch her story with her.
You betcha. She's an awesome woman.
Yeah, she is.
But we're not going to tell her that.
No. Hey.
Hey.
How you doing? Good to see you. Yeah. Thanks for coming.
Oh my God.
She made it. Good to see you. All right. I'm glad you're here. We were a little worried. We're like, is she going to make it?
This is Wendy. This is
Wendy.
Graham.
Hi,
Graham is professor of nursing, and Wendy works with me in clinic, actually.
Oh, okay.
All right. Come on over, everybody. Yeah, everyone grab a seat. We're gonna have a discussion and watch Martina's story. So you guys all being either family doctors or, you know, palliative care or running Calgary Health Region or, you know, nursing, and Ray, one of Martina's patients. So we're just going to watch her story and then have a little discussion about it.
I never really understood what a family doctor was. Until about halfway through medical school, I spent a summer in a small town of Farranfore, County Kerry. Dr. Eamon Shanahan and I drove these muddy little tracks that seemed to go nowhere until somehow he'd make a turn and find a whitewashed farmhouse with the door open. We'd go in, sit down, have a cup of tea, and before I knew it, history, physical exam, treatment, all sorted. It felt so natural, more like visiting friends than being a doctor. That summer opened my eyes to what being a doctor really is. 20 years later, downtown Calgary, on the 8th floor of my clinic. I'm just finishing a physical exam for an older woman. The exam was routine. I had examined her hands, her nails, her pulse, her mouth, her teeth, her neck, her heart, her lungs, her abdomen, reflexes and toes. As I got up to leave, she stopped me and said, "Doctor, thank you. I've not been touched in over 10 years." Before I knew what was happening, she drew me into her arms and I felt her tears on my cheek. I was taken by surprise and instinctively returned her embrace, wrapped my arms around her and held her as she sobbed. A few weeks later, I was chatting about it with a friend at a conference and another colleague overheard. He stopped me and said, "You better keep your voice down. If other people hear that story, you'll be back on the boat." My inner doctor told me, "No, that hug was what your patient needed." In that moment, we met.
There we go. Martina's story, everyone.
What could you possibly have been worried about? Oh, it's just beautiful.
What are your initial reactions to the story? Anything that resonated with you or stood out?
We share our patients' lives. It is about the science, it is about, being a doctor and all that other stuff, but it's also about having a contact with people over a long period of time. And that the fact, that this guy knew where all these people lived, in these little isolated places, he was sharing their lives. Mm-hmm. And he made that connection for you.
Yes.
That's part of the things that I thought sort of was incredible about it, right? Is how maybe some of these early experiences in life really shape who we become in the medical profession, right?
And I never thought about that. I never made that connection.
Yeah.
Like that just came out through us talking, but I had never related that experience with what I do. It was just like something I did. It was just not part of becoming a doctor anyway, that's for sure, until we talked.
Sharing some of your personal story, connecting with people is what makes us, all of us in healthcare, powerful, I think.
When I met Martina, she looked into my eyes and she touches your soul and she reads what's really inside of you. And I was watching that movie and I was watching her eyes when she was a kid, and she's got the same look. She's looking in the lens and she's looking at the people, and even when she's a youngster.
That's how we learn from our patients, I think, is from connecting with what they evoke in us that's not clinical and not intellectual. But that's where the real connection happens. So we have to be open to learning that.
There's always this tension that exists between, caring for someone, and providing care to someone. The best clinicians are the people who are able to balance those two in the way that's needed for the person in front of them.
Martina creates a presence. That's what I was hearing, people are saying, and what we observed there. So keeping up a presence, of caring, curiosity, and being there in the moment. It really goes back, to that sense of caring that gets created. And I think good clinicians, create that within seconds, of the patient's, interaction. The patient can understand or picks up very quickly, whether you're really there for them or whether you're just there, in a physical sense.
If you're not willing to share these stories, how is anyone ever going to learn from them? So
Courageous.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, pretty courageous.
Can I? You are awesome, dear. Thank you for sharing you with me.
Thanks. Yeah, I hope it was okay.
What's that?
It was okay.
Oh, it's awesome.
Okay.
You just be proud of yourself.
Yeah.
Because you were awesome.
Well, now I know about you, you know about me.
What do you know about me?
I know some stuff about you.
Oh, you don't.
Oh, really?